thank you so much for that brief introduction. And so today's topic, it's a very important topic to our teenagers and also important to our parents, because we will be discussing about the role of mentors, role models, and heroes on the life of our teenagers, because these are the terms that most of the time they are used, but at sometimes it is not very clear what they mean. Sometimes people may use one term interchanging it, maybe a role model, they are referring to him or her as a mentor. So by the end of this discussion today, we'll be able to understand who is a mentor, who is a role model, who is a hero in the lives of teenagers, and then we'll be able to understand what is their importance in the life of our teenagers, and also be able to find out and to understand how do you identify these three figures in your life, because it is important. Research has it that those teenagers who at one time of their life they have a role model, a mentor, or a hero, and a positive one, they are able to handle life's challenges in a better way as compared to those ones who did not have either a mentor, a role model, or even a hero in their life. So it is a very key topic for us today, and I want to spend a few minutes finding out how do we identify these people and their importance. So stay on board, continue sharing this page, make your comments. If you have a question concerning this area, you are free to leave it on the comment box, and you'll be able to handle a number of questions. I'll also be able to read a few comments. So welcome, and stay on board. Now, getting into our discussion, I want to bring in Steve, and today utakuwa na maswali mingi sana kwako because you are alone, and but I believe and I know that you are up to task and you'll be able to handle all those areas. Now, do you have a mentor?
Yeah.
So you have one. So if you have one, okay, what do you understand by that mentor? Ama, now that you say you have a mentor, ulipokuwa looking for that person mwenye unaita a mentor, ulikuwa unaangalia nini, or what was your understanding of a mentor?
Okay, for me, okay, my understanding ya kuwa na mentor ni vitu zenye nafanya, vitu venye navalia, venye naongea,
Yes.
ina determine. Yeah.
So as Limyo ukimwangalia, there are things that you, okay, can you maybe name him or her, maybe?
Nick.
Or Nick.
Yeah.
Or Nicholas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So he's one of members in our church.
Yeah.
So what were you looking at?
Okay, ni characters zake, venye anavaa, his kibali chake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Na anajua he is your mentor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So maybe just to help us understand more in a deeper sense, so I'd like to request Teacher Jocelyn to help us understand and differentiate, because we have listed three terms: a mentor, a role model, and a hero. Yes, even as we get the introduction of the topic, it's good to understand those the differences in those roles.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Paul. And I hope those who are following us are hearing. Somebody is asking for sound. I hope they can hear us now. This evening, we want to look at three ones, and maybe a fourth one may come along as we try to understand what Steve has said. He looks at somebody as a mentor, whom he looks at maybe the way he dresses, the way he does things, and the way he plans his life. And these are people, young people always look at. Yes. So the first person I want to mention is what Steve has mentioned, the mentor. and I happen to be in that lane where I do it officially. A mentor is that person whom you have identified, and this person also knows that you have identified them for you to follow them in the line of your personal life so that you can grow in some specific areas. That is what you call a mentor. This mentor knows that you are following them. And you also spend time with this person, the mentor, because there are some things you can even ask, some questions you can ask directly to this mentor, and then you can now be able, the mentor can tell you some more advice. So actually, a mentor is somebody more knowledgeable in the area you want to learn. And it is somebody you have approached directly, and you have talked with them, and you have told them you are concerned. Because you can have different mentors at the same time. Let's take, for example, I'm in the line of mentorship. I can have another person who is older in this, more knowledgeable in this line of mentorship, who is mentoring me. I am a mother, and I can have a mother who is mentoring me in the line of motherhood. I am maybe a teacher. I can have somebody who is mentoring me in that line of teaching. So I can have different mentors for different at the same time. And I look for mentors as time comes. Let's take, for example, when I was bringing up my children, when they were small, I looked for a mentor who has already adult children and they have grown. So I've looked at their children and I've seen their behavior as well and all that. So I pick on that person to help me bring up my children in that line. Now let's take, for example, my children are old, they are young adults. Maybe they are thinking of marriage and all that. So I'll look for a mentor whose children have been into marriage. So I've seen them take their children through marriage. So then I can pick a mentor who has had children who have gone through marriage to help me mentor mine into that. So mentors can keep on changing in life depending on their needs. But when we talk of a role model, a role model is somebody you still look at, you admire, and you want to be like them. But you don't have to necessarily tell them. Yeah? But this person is in contact with you. You have seen them maybe in the village. Like now, maybe Steve can have seen another young man in the village, among the cousins, among the neighbors. They have seen how they have excelled in life. And at the back of their mind, everything Steve does, he wants to become like that person. But he doesn't spend time with this role model. He only observes and he desires to be like that person. That is a role model. And the other person is the hero. A hero is somebody you desire, but one, you are not in contact with, and secondary, you don't have imagination that you can reach their standards. That is your hero. So you are never imagining at one time you will be like that. That's why you hear people saying Jesus is my hero, because there's no time they'll reach the standards of Jesus. So that is the hero. So the difference between a role model and a hero is the hero, you have seen them physically, you have interacted with them, and you are admiring to be like them silently, not spending so much time asking questions and all that like the way you do to the mentor. Mentor, you keep on consulting them. Mentor, you keep on having sessions with them. Mentor keeps on finding out how far have you gone in this thing we are discussing. But the hero doesn't do that. But inside you, you have admired this person and you want to be like that person. That is your role model. The hero, you admire them and you just like their life, but there is nothing at the back of your mind. One day you will be like that person. That is the hero. Now, I said I may mention a fourth person whom I call now the peer. A peer is somebody we share everything together, and we are in the same environment, we are going through the same circumstances, and we do so many things together.
Yes.
So I'm mentioning this because of the role of the mentor and the role model.
Yes.
Sometimes when I mentor somebody,
Yes.
let's take now, like, for example, the way I took the example of me. When somebody mentored me to be a mother, the minute I became a mother, now we became peers. We could
Okay.
now share. We could not the expert and the receiver.
Yes.
We were both of us now peers. We are sharing about our children and all that. So at one time, the mentorship role may end, and then now you become peers.
Yes.
You consult one another. You keep on sharing experiences and all that.
Yes.
That is the
That's-
meaning of those words.
Yes, those 3 words.
Yes.
Now, from your explanation, and I can deduce that it's only between the mentor and the mentee that we have a direct relationship. That
Yes.
they must have one-on-one kind of relationship.
Yes.
But for the others, like you're observing from a distance.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Actually, the person you have in contact with
Yes.
is the mentor.
Mhm.
The person you share with directly is the mentor.
Yes.
The person you express your concerns to is the mentor. The person you schedule times to sit together and talk
Yes.
is your mentor. The role model, you may never even have time to talk with them, but they are there. Let's take, for example, these small boys and girls in primary school. They have seen somebody in the village who is in the university. So that person is the role model for these small girls and boys. But they may never have the time to spend with these youth or this young lady or young man in the university. But they admire them. They want to be like them. They attended their wedding.
Yes.
They saw how wonderful it was. So they want, at the back of their mind, to purpose to have a wedding like that. They want to go to the university like so and so.
Yes.
That is a role model. They may never spend time together.
Yes.
But a mentor, you must spend time together with. You must have schedules, and you must have the planned outcome.
Yes.
What did we want at the end of this? Yes.
So thank you so much. Now, Steve, so you said that Nick is your mentor.
Yeah.
So kuna wakati sasa ulimu approach and you talked one-on-one, ukamwambia now I would like you to be my mentor, ama ni yeye alikuja kwako, ama mlijipata tu mnaendelea I think this is my mentor.
Okay. Okay, ili happen tumeenda place hapa Kasarani.
Yes.
Saa ikakuwa lunch tunakula pamoja na tuko na yeye tu peke yetu. Saa tukaongea
And then ukamrequest ama
okay, nikamwambia venye iko.
yeah.
Na yeye sasa yeye akasema okay, akachukulia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then from there mmekuwa mkikutana regularly and you've been maybe imekuwaje?
Yeah. Kila wiki tunapatana.
Yes.
Ama Sundays. Okay, kabla oe tulikuwa tunaonana sana.
Yes.
Yeah. But this time ameoa sasa, but he's still yeah.
Okay, now from the interaction mmekuwa na yeye, so like what would you like to become? Maybe
Okay.
because from the explanation we tumepata from Teacher Jocelyn is that a mentor, I hope umeielewa, there is something akona more information about a certain area ambayo we hauna, and you like to be like him.
Yeah, in music. Juu tulikuwa na yeye na classes na yeye na bass guitar. So mi kwangu ni in music.
Yes,
yeah,
that's the main area. Na anajua hivyo.
Anajua.
So thank you so much because of that. So from what I've heard is that even maybe you can bring in Teacher Jocelyn, there is that part now the mentee approaches the mentor, and then there is a journey. So there's no way now, like a parent or maybe someone who is more experienced can locate maybe a talent or an ability in the mentee, and then he or she makes maybe the request to be the mentor to that. Can we have such a relationship?
Okay. Let me say this. To be somebody's mentor,
Yes.
one is that there must be some prior arrangements. And there must have been some observation which the mentee noted that this person has some qualities which they can impart on me. Also, the mentor must have been informed by the mentee that I want us to walk the journey together, so that the mentor can have the willingness to provide the time.
Yes.
You hear Steve says that they went for coffee somewhere.
Yes.
So the mentor must be ready.
Yes.
And at times it's like if somebody approaches you and they tell you, I want you to be my mentor, if you feel you cannot make it,
Yes.
you need to tell the person, I may not be available.
Yes.
Because this person is like, it's like a school. Mentorship is more like a school.
Yes.
You must be willing to spend time with this person.
Yes.
So what happens is, like, for example, I don't want to go so much deep into the story of Steve.
Yes.
But I want to believe there must have been some connection from somebody else who connected the two of them. Or Steve noted that the mentor, that is, you said who is your mentor?
Nick.
Yeah, that Nick is has some qualities. Then Nick was willing to share
Yes.
these qualities with Steve. Because if Nick is not willing, then he cannot be a mentor. There must be the willingness. I said that a role model, you just see them and you want to become like them. You don't spend time to ask them,
Yes.
how did you make it?
Yes.
You only look at them. This person is always smartly dressed.
Yes.
So I decide I'll be smartly dressed.
Yes.
This person's hairstyle is like this. So I decide I'll always have that hairstyle. I don't even ask them when do they go for the hairstyle. So when I go to the Kenyosi, I try to explain to them what I want. But I have seen it somewhere. I want to be like that. When I want my hairdresser, I want to be like that. Somewhere, somebody I saw.
Yes.
So that is my role model. But for a mentor, I must approach them and tell them what area do I need to be mentored. We must be specific.
Yes.
Because you cannot come and mentor me anything.
Yes.
And one thing I would say is that, like now, that bit of mentorship,
Yes.
I don't know whether I can say it now.
Yes.
When you pick somebody to be your mentor, you don't live their life.
Yes.
You only pick what you want from the mentor. There are some aspect of their life you don't have to pick. And that is where now the young people get lost.
Yes.
When they pick somebody as their mentor, they want to be that person's life. If the person's dressing is not your style,
Yes.
you don't have to dress because he's your mentor. If the person's hairstyle is not your style, you don't have to have that haircut
Yes.
because he's your mentor.
Yes.
If you went for the music, Steve says he went to Nick because of music.
Yes.
Go learn music.
Yes.
You don't have to be your mentor's life. But a role model, even a role model, you can be everything, but if something doesn't go with your beliefs, something doesn't go with your way of looking at life, you don't have to pick from that. But mentorship, you specify,
Yes.
I want this. So you work on it.
Yes.
The minute you have accomplished it, now the process can end. Then you become peers. Because I want to believe the minute Steve will be a musician like Nick, they will now become peers.
Yes.
They will share the business. They will be working together.
Yes.
They will be partners. And they can move on together now as peers.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Now, Steve, like when you now decided Nick atakuwa my mentor in this field, and there is that relationship you've been meeting, has there been at any time only involve your parents?
Yeah.
They know that. That there's something, so they know, even your dad knows and your mom. So
wote wanajua.
oh, that's great. Now maybe we can help the parents from just maybe you can dwell on the mentorship role.
Yeah.
There's a relationship between now the mentor and the mentee. And also maybe you'll address this issue. There are some teenagers who would say that my parent, my father or my mom, is my mentor. Can a parent be a mentor?
I want to believe so, depending on what you want to pick.
Yes.
Let's say, for example,
Yes.
my daughter wants to learn how to cook
Yes.
a certain meal, and she has desired.
Yes.
Because you go to be mentored, something you have desired. You have looked at it and you have desired. So when she wants to learn how to cook something she has seen me cook well, she can be I can be a mentor, and she can be my mentee.
Yes.
So we work that meal together until she's polished in it,
Yes.
and then we end that process. The other day she will come for something else,
Yes.
and I become the mentor. So parents can be mentors to the children, and they learn and they move on. The only thing is that she must do the verbal
Yes.
expression that, Mom, I want you to teach me this.
Okay.
So at the back of my mind, I know this girl has admired
Yes.
something I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
So she wanted me to teach her.
Yes.
Because mentorship is that verbalization. You have heard Steve says that the parents are aware.
Yes.
Because in most cases, even like, for example, I see somebody I admire most,
Yes.
and I want them to walk the journey with my children. I'll come and tell you, Teacher Paul, I have seen my son has reached another stage of life, and I know you have been that stage of life. I want you to walk with him the journey. Sometimes it may even involve monetary
Yes.
expenses, because I may require to
Yes.
give you something to cater for the time
Yes.
you spend, because you are imparting skills on this person.
Yes.
It could be free, it could be for pay, but mentorship is initiated by the two parties, and they have expressed specifically, what do I want out of this?
Yes.
Yes.
So now, from what Steve shared, that he involved the parents, because there's that part of the relationship, and maybe where we are having maybe a mentor who is not the parent. So what's the role of the parent in that relationship?
Between the mentor and
Yes.
the mentee.
Yes, there's now the mentor and the mentee,
Yes.
and now we have the parent.
The parents.
Yes.
I would say that parents can play different roles. The first role for the parent is to help the child identify the mentor. Because it is you, the parent, who is noticing the child.
Yes.
The child is growing. Because sometimes the child may want to become, like now, play music. Nick wants to be a musician.
Yes.
There are so many musicians out there.
Yes.
But as a parent, I have that person whom I know, their values are not going to impact negatively
Yes.
on my child. I've told you that the mentee need to know that they don't have to pick everything from the mentor. You only pick what you wanted. But now the children, sometimes they get confused. Because this is a mentor, and this is somebody making it in life, everything they do is okay. So if as a parent I don't have the influence of who mentors my children, then the children may pick other things which I am not comfortable with. So the parent should come in that line, in helping identify who is a mentor.
Yes.
Even you have in schools, schools pick somebody to mentor the students.
Yes.
They don't pick anybody who goes there and say, I can mentor these children.
Yes.
They pick somebody who they know. Their character, their behavior
Yes.
is not going to influence negatively
Yes.
on the students. So the parents have that role.
Yes.
The other role the parents have is sometimes the process may require financial implication.
Yes.
So like if Steve was to move to Garden City, Steve needs transport.
Yes.
When Steve is at Garden City,
Yes.
he may need to take a cup of tea or a bottle of soda.
Yes.
It's not the mentor who is supposed to meet that cost
Yeah.
on behalf of the parent, because it is the parent who are trying to mold their child,
Yes.
but they are picked on Nick to be the mentor for their child. So the parent have that financial implication.
Yes.
They need to provide. If I come and talk to you and I want you to talk with my son,
Yes.
and I know you are going to spend your time, I can tell you, oh, okay, Teacher Paul, just have this 1,000, go somewhere with my son and have a cup of coffee
Yes.
as you talk over something.
Yes.
And you see now from there you develop a relationship.
That's
Now you can be talking even over the phone and all that. So the parents have a big role when it comes to mentorship.
Yes.
But in role model, the parent may not really have much say,
Yeah.
because the child has just seen somebody and they want to become like them.
Yes.
So the only thing the parent can come in is like, you notice a hairstyle,
Yeah.
and you ask your son, why are you in this whatever,
Yeah.
this type of hairstyle? They tell you, I want to be like this and this. So then you can come in.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. The other day I had a case at my place of work
Yes.
of this young man. We had issues and we told him to go and cut the hair. And the process became a bit complicated.
Yeah.
So at night he wanted to commit suicide. So when we followed, it's like he said, we are telling him to cut his hair, and his hairstyle is the one for his role model, whom he cannot live without being like him. So when he was told by the administration he must cut that hair, he
Yes.
felt I would rather die than cut my hair. Because my role model is the one who satisfies me. When I look at his picture, that hairstyle, it reflects me, and I want to be reflected in his life. So in that case now, the parent can come in and give guidance.
Yes.
And maybe seek now help for this person
Yes.
to not go so much deep
Yes.
into becoming somebody else.
Yes.
But now a mentor, you have already noted the traits
Yes.
you want them to impart on your child. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for that insight. Now, I still on you. There's who say that now there is. I believe some of the parents who are watching us right now, maybe they will get this request from a teenager to be a mentor. Maybe help them understand how far should they go as far as mentorship is concerned. Now the parents, because some of the parents who are watching us, maybe a teenager will come and request you to become my mentor. So what is their role that they should be able to play and not maybe cross the line as far as mentorship is required? Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And I want to read this from one of the parents. And this happened to be my mentor when I was a lady. When I got married, she was my mentor to lend me into the life of a young mother.
Yes.
This is Rhoda Marangwa. I see she's saying, mentor, role model, hero should strive to be people of good reputation, so that young people can emulate their good attributes.
Yes.
So, thank you so much, Rhoda, for that. The parents also should also ensure that they have a good character, which can influence their children.
Yes.
You see what happens with some parents, I'm sorry to say, parents want children to live
Yes.
a different life from what they are living.
That's true.
You'll get a person who is very serious on children going to church, but him or her never goes to church.
Yeah.
So they tell the children, muoge mwende church, na waende. But him, he never goes.
Yes.
You get a parent, smokes, lakini anaambia watoto,
Yes.
don't smoke.
Yes.
I think those are some of the things Rhoda is saying. Strive sometimes to be of good reputation.
Yes.
I am a woman, and I don't have a good reputation. I'm out there with men anywhere. And I want my daughter
Yes.
to live a life that she doesn't mess her life, whatever. She doesn't, she becomes serious, she concentrates, she doesn't move aloud with the boys and all that.
Yes.
But she knows mom is always out there with men.
Yes.
So what reputation do I have as a parent? So the thing I would say is that parents, we must strive. We cannot be role models and mentors to our children
Yes.
if we are not living the talk. If what we are saying is not what we are living, we cannot be mentors.
Yes.
So a parent must be very careful. If you want your generation to be better, you must be the same person.
Yes.
I think it's in this forum I talked about this parent who was always taking them beer
Yes.
and telling the children,
Yes.
now hii ni sonda ya wazee na hii ni sonda ya watoto. I remember I said that.
Yeah.
So when these teenagers reached to be adults, they stopped taking the sonda ya watoto
Yeah,
and they started taking sonda
ya
ya
wazee.
wazee,
Yeah.
ya watu wakubwa. And now this parent will now start quarreling, this from one boy, this from two girl,
Yes.
that you are taking beer. But the child saw it when they were growing up.
Yeah.
So mentorship is such a crucial thing, and it is actually an investment.
Yes.
I think you must purpose to invest in your life,
Yes.
that which you want your children to pick. I must have the fruit
Yes.
which the children can pick and eat. But if my fruits are bitter,
Yes.
and I'm telling the children to pick some good fruit from somebody else, the children will pick more my bitter fruit than the sweet ones I'm talking about
That's true.
from somebody else.
That's true.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. Now, thank you so much for those of you who are following us. We can see Taruna Kapoor is online and watching. There's that comment, Rhoda Marangu. Teacher Jocelyn has just read your comment and what you're saying. So continue making your comments. And if you have any question, you're also free to leave it on the comment box and you'll be able to handle it. Now, moving forward now to, let me ask Steve. So, like now, apart from the ungependa kuwa nini when you were through with your education, which is your field of specialization, ungependa kujoin?
Okay. Mi yangu ni engineering.
Engineering.
Nina deal na kuconnect maji ipite yani kwa counties hivyo. Yeah.
So specifically, do you know which field is that? Because engineering ni mingi, kuna yenye najua inaitwa soil water engineering. Have you ever heard of it? Vitu kama hizo.
Water engineering.
Water engineering. So nikikuuliza in that line, maybe do you have someone you consider as a role model?
Yeah.
Nani huyo?
Niko na my big cousin. Okay, alitoka last year. Last year. Yeah.
So unamuangalia kwa ubali and you like maybe one day to be like whatever he is doing.
Yeah.
In the line of engineering. Lakini hiyo ni ile tu haujai mwambia ati unamfuata. Unamwangalia tu kwa ubali.
Na performance zake hivyo.
Now what about in music? Do you have, now apart from the mentor, do you have a role model?
Yeah. Okay, anachezaga guitar. Yeah. But he's kind of a rock star.
He's a rock star.
Yeah.
Hata sio wa Kenya ama. So but there are some qualities unaangalia kwake unaona this is something good and I would like to.
Yeah.
Wow, so thank you so much for that. At least by now hapa tunapoendelea umeanza now ku differentiate between the roles, between the mentor and the role model. Now, Pierre Jocelyn, help us to understand. We have said that for the role model, not necessarily don't have to have that relationship, and maybe most of them wanakuwa ni we like the teenagers watch them maybe over the TV or online. So what's the importance of maybe having a role model?
Okay. Having a role model is something that makes you fulfill your dreams
Yes.
in a more practical way.
Yes.
Like for example, now Steve is saying he has that cousin.
Yes.
You want Yasin. He says he has not talked.
Yes.
That's a perfect role model.
Yes.
Because you don't have to have talked, but
Yes.
you have seen them and you have admired. So a role model helps now these young people
Yes.
become better. Actually, role models help us to have a better society. Because the minute Steve looks at this person and sees what they are doing,
Yes.
now Steve can start actualizing. I can also do the same.
Yes.
And it can be workable.
Yes.
That which I admire, it is workable.
Yes.
So the role model helps us have better society.
Yes.
When young people look at the older ones, and let's say now the primary school children
Yes.
look at the secondary school and the college and the university, and they admire what they are doing, then they desire to be like them. You see, now we have a more smooth transition into the society.
Yes.
So when older people become better role models,
Yes.
they now help the society to become better. And in the process, everything now runs smoothly. I'm also able to actualize that this is possible.
Yes.
I can be like this person. And once I start now working towards becoming that person, every day I can assess myself. How successful am I towards becoming like this person? Because I'm seeing what they are doing.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, now, very soon now, this man, Steve is looking at as the role model, will be married,
Yes.
will have children. So Steve will start making ideas. I can also have a family. I can have a successful family.
Yes.
But now in case, this person you are looking at as your role model,
Yes.
they mess somewhere. It now impacts negatively
Yes.
on this person.
Yes.
Let's take, for example, now, this cousin of Steve, God forbid, maybe they marry and at one point they separate. You see now, Steve will sit down and is like, wow, kumbe, if I do like this and this, following the footsteps of this person, at the end somewhere,
Yes.
I'm also going to have this type of things. And that's why you find even some young people
Yes.
who took their parent like their role models.
Yes.
If the marriage of the parent does not work,
Yes.
the young person may not desire going into marriage.
That's true.
Because they have that mentality. My parents were my role models. Their marriages never worked. So why should I go into marriage? Even mine is likely not to work.
Yes.
So that role model now becomes very crucial.
Yes.
As a role model, you know, and that calls for us in the society. You don't know who is looking at you.
Yes.
You don't know who is your role model. You may not have talked. You know, there are people whom you know, this one I want to be like this. Like now, I remember Rhonda used to call me my daughter sometimes here as we are teaching at Chogoria girls with her.
Yes.
So she used to call me my daughter. So I always knew this is my mother.
Yes.
But there are those other people I admired,
Yes.
but we never had any interaction.
That's true.
So they didn't know. But now what it means is, at the back of every person, just know this, that person who could be emulating you,
Yes.
who could be following your footsteps. And when you go astray, this person is going to be affected in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Now, from the on that role of the role model, from what I've learned from Steve, he has said one of the role models is not even Kenyan. They have never even met. He's a guitarist. But now I think now that opens another door, that when we have maybe a negative role model, someone who is impacting these teenagers, because I think in this program we have said that they are still developing when it comes to the decision making skills. So for this teenager, he has not even consulted the parent. He's just watching someone, maybe on the TV, maybe a musician, and I want to be like him or like her. So they start picking some of those qualities which might be negative qualities. So on that, maybe what's the role of the parent in ensuring that the role models, maybe the teens they are picking, there's some kind of guidance they are making?
Oh, yeah. Actually, what you are saying, Teacher Paul, is very crucial.
Yes.
Because teenage young read,
Yes.
it is a stage of identity.
Yes.
They are trying to identify themselves. And I mentioned it the other day that in psychology,
Yes.
we call it the stage of identity versus raw confusion.
Yes.
So this young person, he wants to be now themselves. They have been mommy's baby for long.
Yes.
They have been daddy's boy for so long.
Yes.
So that 12, 13,
Yes.
they have now reached a stage where they want to be themselves.
Yes.
And you can never be yourself out of the blues.
Yes.
You become yourself from what you have been seeing.
Yes.
So there is this person, this child has been observing throughout their developmental stages from childhood, and they have been admiring. And now this, at a teenage, it becomes so strong.
Yes.
They want to bring that out. They want now to separate from childhood and find their identity in this life. If the role model is not of good reputation,
Yes.
as somebody has said just a while ago,
Yes.
this young person is going to pick the traits that are negative. So how does the parent come in, as you are asking?
Yes.
This is where now parenting comes in. Because if I had not communicated to my children what is right from childhood, if I've not brought them up in a setup where they know what is good and what is bad, they will not differentiate
Yes.
between the bad traits
Yes.
of the role model and the good trait of the role model. So the parent comes in handy, not just at teenage.
Yes.
When you see now that the child has picked the bad trait of the role model,
Yes.
is the time you want to hit back. This can start a bit early. You instill values which you want your child to pick in your parenting. Don't wait until the children are watching anything on TV. You never comment on what is negative. Until now they are of age,
Yes.
they want to become themselves. And then now you meet them becoming like that person. And you have never mentioned about it. So parents must start preparing children long enough so that by the time they make up their mind, who is their role model? You see, children start admiring different people
Yes.
as they grow up. I remember my son once when he was very young. He admired these security who guard the gate in the estates. And he used to say when he grows up, he wants to be a policeman. He thought that is the police person. So we had to clarify to him, this is not a police person. This is
Yes.
just a security, whatever. But, so as they grow up, they keep on admiring different characters.
Yes.
And this, when they are young, they talk. And also the parent, you need also to talk with your children.
Yes.
Hear whom they want to become. When they want to become a pilot, why do they want to become a pilot? They want to become a doctor. Why do they want to become a doctor? Yeah? So if it is on a negative point,
Yes.
then correct it before they become the doctor.
Yes.
The same son of mine, my son has been a very interesting one. I remember
Yeah.
I took him to a hospital one time when he was young. And we waited for the doctor for around 2 years. 2 hours. Then he said, when I grow up, I want to become a doctor. And then I asked him, why do you want to become a doctor? So that I can make people wait for me for 2 hours. So you see now, that's not a good trait. I had to
Yes.
tell him,
Yes.
this is not right to make people wait for you for 2 hours.
Yes.
So if you know now he's admiring the bad trait of the doctor, yeah, not the good trait.
That's true.
So I should now make sure that he doesn't pick the bad traits. Being a doctor is good,
Yes.
but not to make people wait for you for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yes.
And they are calling you and they're telling me, I'm coming, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm coming, 45 minutes, I'm coming. You know, that is not a good trait. So what parents can do actually is just open communication.
Yes.
That is what I would say. Be able to know your children.
Yes.
You'll be able to know what they want to become. And you will be able to correct
Yes.
the bad part of it before they pick it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much. So Steve, there's something you said now. Wakati nikuuliza who is the other role model like in the music. So ukasema is a guitarist but is a rock star.
Yeah.
So is there that there are some things you admire in either him or she?
Yeah.
Because that's what I picked.
Yeah.
But what do you like in him that to make him your role model?
Kuna venye huwa ana play yo guitar. Yani unaona hadi huyu mtu yani qualified kabisa.
Yes.
Alafu kuna wale wenye wana play gear akiangalia venye anacheza. Sasa huyo ni anacheza na ipiga.
Yeah. Is it a rock guitar ile? But then there's an aspect yake ukiangalia una singependa kuwa hii. So you have not like picked everything in the role model.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. At least that's a good point on your side, because you have been able to separate and to isolate Staki, but I want to pick this one. So maybe I would like just need to address maybe the teenagers to understand, because there are some of them as you walk, you find them that they are picking everything they see in the role model, and some of those things, especially dressing, the hairstyles, they don't know they have a deeper meaning. For them, they just see a dressing code, a hairstyle.
Yeah.
Maybe can address that issue, helping them to understand that they don't just pick everything because they have seen. There's a culture behind that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a reason behind everything somebody does.
Yes.
And that bit of sight is a strong communication channel. Yeah. We say communication can be verbal or non-verbal.
Yes.
So, looking at somebody, you look at the person you like, and once you like the person, you don't have to go to the very fine details of everything.
Yes.
For example, now, I thank God for Steve.
Yes.
Steve says he likes the way he plays the guitar. So, this person touched Steve's interest of a guitarist.
Yes.
And he has seen the guitarist part of it, which is very good.
Yes.
But Steve has not liked all the other things.
Yes.
And that is the basic information we want to pass to our young people.
Yes.
When you admire somebody's certain aspect of life, you don't have to be a duplicate of this person. That is what is happening with our young people.
Yes, true.
The minute you admire one aspect of your hero or your role model, you want now to be everything in this person. You don't want to even understand, why does this person dress this way? Why does this person make this sign when they are maybe talking? Why do they have this hairstyle? And you just want to be like that person completely. As in, a young person would want to completely transform their culture to become the culture of their role model, which is wrong. There are those who even want to transform their color. They will change their skin color to be like the role model. In the process, they even bring complications to their health and all that. So my message to our young people is, it is very crucial in life to have a role model.
Yes.
It is very crucial in life to have a model. But my message this evening is, identify that which you want from your role model. Identify that which you want from your hero. Work on it and forget other things. You don't have to be a copycat of your role model. Just pick what you want, get it. Once you are okay, then leave the other things, so that it doesn't bring conflict between you and your parents. And also now with the parents, sometimes we see our children all of a sudden change. The way they were dressing, they have just changed. The way they used to have their hairstyle, they have just changed to something else. They have gone to the salon and they have come with yellow, green, purple, whatever brains on the head. And the parents only want to rebuke the behavior without knowing the root source of that behavior. This child may be hooked to a role model who is involved in even worse things you can see. You are only seeing the hairstyle, and you have insisted that hair must be undone. Okay, the child will undo, but they are doing other things they are watching from the role model. So as a parent, don't distance yourself from your children's behavior And don't approach everything with a quarrel.
Yes.
Don't reprimand everything without knowing why it has happened.
Yes.
By doing so, it will be easier for you to maybe stop any behavior your child is speaking from a role model which is not right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. So just as we continue, we have Charlotte Mkuzi tuned in from Wehoko. Thank you so much. We have Rhoda Marango saying that children, youth should be guided on how to study the positive habits of successful role models through mentors and heroes. They don't have to copy paste each trait they portray. I think she's adding to what you've just said. I can see Anne Kayu, that is Bonita's mom. She's watching. Welcome so much, and she has been of great support to this program. May God bless you so much. Na usalimie Bonita on our behalf. Mwambie we are missing her on this platform. So as we wind up, sababu naona Mushoki ametuwekea taa ingine pale, is giving us signs and wonders that we should be winding up, and he's doing a very good job. Thank you so much for what you are doing. So as we now come to the conclusion of this program today, now we want to help now the teenagers, which are some of the like, I don't know what to call it, a checklist when they are picking these role models, mentors, the heroes, like the basic. If we can have like 3 or 4 points, if possible, for you to pick any of those categories. What do you look for?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Picking a role model, picking a mentor, picking a hero.
Yes.
It may not be just a walk in the park.
Yes.
Because sometimes you pick somebody and along the way, you find this is not what I wanted. Even as adults,
Yes,
we've experienced that.
Yeah.
Maybe you move to a new town and you are looking even for a church to fellowship.
Yes.
And you go to a certain church and you are like, no, this is not.
Yes.
Now, the challenge comes now with our young people because of maybe their stage of development.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't even know what is the actual trait in this person. So the checkpoint would be, first is, do you understand yourself? What do you want in life?
Yes.
They have people. I see one of my principal here called Karen is watching us from Machakos.
Yes.
And I know she's mentoring so many girls at Momboni girls.
Yes.
And she's telling them many things.
Yes.
If the young people were to listen to the adults who are always talking to them over and over, they are telling them something.
Yes.
This can be like an indicator on what do I look for in the role model.
Yes.
If, for example, I want to become a doctor,
Yes.
you don't become a doctor who will make people sit on a queue for 2 hours
That's
and
true.
telling them I'm coming. So you've listened to maybe people talk.
Yes.
You've heard people say what is a good character of a good doctor.
Yes.
Then you listen and then look at the doctors you know and see the one who has a good character. Sometimes there's this feeling of rebellion.
Yes.
And to the young people, rebellion is more of a natural satisfaction. So they will want to rebel anything that is coming from adults
Yes.
by looking for a role model who is direct opposite of the parents.
Yeah.
I'll tell the young people,
Yes.
parents are your best teachers.
Yes.
I normally tell young people, if this parent took time to bring you up,
Yeah.
whatever they are telling you for their good.
Yes.
So listen to your parents.
Yes.
Don't deviate from the morals that have been initiated in you or imparted in you as you grew up because of the role model. That you look for a role model who is totally different, who is totally opposite of what your parents are saying. At the end of the day, this role model, one, is not even with you.
Yes.
It is your parents who are with you.
That's true.
It is your teachers who are with you.
Mhm.
It is maybe your spiritual parents or the reverend, the pastors who are with you.
Yes.
So these people who are with you physically, you may not pick them so much as your role model. You want to pick somebody else.
Yes.
But please, as you do this,
Yes.
let that which has been planted in you
Yes.
be ringing at the back of your mind. So that as you identify the person who can be your role model, there are some principles which you want to maintain, which have been imparted in you as you grew up.
Yes.
That which your parents were doing to you as you grew up. That which your teachers are talking to you about each and every day. That which your spiritual fathers are talking to you in church every Sunday.
Yes.
Let it be the foundation under which you pick your role model.
Yes.
If you do that, you will not regret.
Yes.
And this person will not impact on you negatively. Because that is the main problem which we have. They go online, they pick anybody, and they just want to pick the most weird person. The other day when you were talking about Facebook, they said they use names
Yes.
which even the parents can never tell. So they even pick some weird people there
Yes.
with the most weird names
Yes.
to be their role model.
Yes.
And some of those people are actors.
Yes.
That is another thing.
Mhm.
Some people you see online, they are completely actors
Yes.
of what they are in real life. The other day our reverend was talking to us about this actor of Papa Silandula, Joro.
Joro, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and he said that he was so shocked to know the real Joro.
Yes.
So maybe there's somebody who want to become Joro,
Yes.
the character, but they don't know Joro, the successful person. So be careful and listen to the teachings you get as you grow up, young people, so that they can be your guide. They can be your guiding principles, and they can lay a good foundation on the role model you are going to pick.
Wow, thank you so much. So like on the issue about the role model, maybe for those teenagers who don't have a role model yet, at least she has guided you on where to pick a role model from. Maybe from your teachers, from your pastors, from maybe a family friend, or at least maybe from a coach, maybe a sports coach. So those are the areas, people that you have a relationship with that you can be able to access. And we have said it's of importance to let your parent know for the teenager now that this is my role model. Now this is my mentor, specifically where we have a relationship between a mentor and a mentee. So thank you so much, Steve. As we come to the conclusion, maybe you can highlight maybe one or two things that you have learned today, and also I'll give you an opportunity to say hi to your mentor and maybe appreciate him, say something to him on this platform, maybe to understand that at least you appreciate what he is doing. Yes.
Okay, thank you Chapel. Okay, for me leo chenye nimesoma ni kuwa mentor na role model sio kitu the same.
Yeah.
Jumi nilidhani Nick bado ni role model. Au wengine wenye nafuataga hivi mdogo mdogo dhani tu hao tu ni watu tu na copy.
Yeah.
But sasa nimejua wenye sasa wenye hadi atuongeagi au sasa ndio ma role models.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Nick. Hi. Okay, nataka kusema asante kwa kwenye umenifikisha, and I appreciate what you're doing for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Ni vizuri asikie hivyo na ajue ya kwamba akona kazi ya kufanya.
And thank you so much, Nick, for
Yeah.
being a role model to Steve.
Yes.
And I will challenge more young people.
Yes.
Please be role model. Live a life
Yes.
that when these people admire, they come out in a positive way.
Yeah.
And be natural. You know, when you are yourself, that the way you impact on people,
Yes.
it is more natural
Yes.
instead of pretense.
Yes.
And that way you are going to have more role models and more mentors.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what you are saying is true, especially for parents, to just for them to become role models to these teenagers. Because most of the time, the kind of people they are having maybe that attraction to, they are the people in the media, the social media, it's called what? The TV, the broadcast media. And maybe because maybe our parents we are too busy doing other things, so we are leaving these teenagers without people to emulate. So it's a challenge to us, especially the parents, those who are in churches. And so if you know you have that good reputation, offer yourself, provide, be ready that these teenagers can pick and have a positive role model. So as we wind up, maybe what's your parting shot? Because we...
Okay. My parting shot is to first to the parents.
Yes.
Please let learn our children.
Yes.
Because the minute we learn our children, we will be able to walk the journey with them.
Yes.
Parents, sometimes we forget we were once teenagers and how difficult it was for us. And sometimes we even forget how many times we even were able to be saved from something which would have destroyed us.
Yes.
Because of somebody who came to our life and assisted us in one way or another. So let's try to be available, as Teacher Paul has said,
Yes.
to learn our children so that we can have open communication and be able to share freely.
Yes.
Let's not have boundaries. And there's nothing, parent, that you cannot share with your children. Don't see something, an aspect in your child, and go to tell somebody, the aunt, to come and talk with this child when you are not involved.
Yes.
Let's be open with our children and we share. And in that way, we shall be able to help them to mold their life in a better way.
Yes.
And to the young people, please listen to your elders. There's no person of importance in your life, like your teacher, your parent, your pastor, who will give you information that is for your distraction. They are always giving you information for your good.
Yes.
So listen to them and use their message as the foundation for your life.
Yes.
It's going to be happy life for you if you do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Maybe do you have maybe some friends who are following you? You can just read them quickly as we wind up.
Okay,
from
yes,
your
I
ends.
can see Kibara Wanjage. Kibara, we grew up together. He's somewhere in America. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for tuning in. I've talked about my mother, Rhoda Malango. She's a teacher somewhere in Nairobi. I can see Karen Karuntimi. Thank you so much, Madam Principal, for watching us. Thank you so much, Madam Kapul, watching us from India. We really appreciate your time and your love for us. MCJ, thank you so much for watching us. Buru Dongo, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and even the resources you have used. And Annie Kayo, thank you so much for watching. Today we've missed Bonita. Make sure she comes. And we are grateful. May God bless you so much. And always be with us on Wednesdays or on Fridays as we talk about it and give your input. We shall appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. May God bless you all. Thank you for the time that you have been together with us for this today's conversation. And let this conversation continue. Because we just done the much we could have done within that 1 hour. Continue this conversation with your groups, with your teenagers, with your friends, that we may be able to, as parents, offer ourselves and be role models, be mentors to our teenagers as we help shape this generation. May God bless you so much for your time. Let's do this again next week by the grace of God, and continue commenting on our